So guys, this is a new devlog and let me share some stuff with you. I'm working on a lot of stuff currently and I thought I need to share it now with you. And yeah, I'm using heavily stuff from the Infiltrator tech demo, which you can find in the samples section of the Epic Launcher. And yeah, it's this guy here mainly. So let me go to Unreal Engine. So we can play the game, of course. We can pick up this weapon here and shoot with it. So nothing special, right? But we can attach it, equip it, unequip it, we can throw it away, and we can pick it up again. And if we throw it away and use one of those weapons here, we'll also go to full screen, we can attach, so it's basically the same animation which we have seen with this other rifle, so it's one. But if we unequip it again, we see that the weapon now is attached to the left holster from the character. And if we equip both again, we will see that it's using different animations. So it's now a two-handed weapon system, and we can also shoot. It's very interesting. And yeah, here you see the footstep debugging system. We can enable it with via the console and say 0. So then it's not showing anymore than when we walk. And yeah, you might now ask, how is this stuff working and how can I set it up? It's very complicated, and I say no, it's not. I'm using a data table here, so it's this one here, and it has basically a map. So the first one is the key of the character skeleton. So we can set up any skeleton with the system we want. And then we define keys and values. And the keys is basically an array as well. So if we have both weapons the same, we will select this animation blueprint. And it's a very small one. I'm using linked animation layers like Lyra. And we basically can set up a very small animation, state machine, and yeah, it's basically heavily inspired by ALS from the overlay states, and then we can set up our poses here. So ALS is using a lot of poses to achieve the final looking animations of the character. So how can we here, it's in a variable already. So here we have one variable where we can set the poses, and it's these ones here. So, and you might now wondering, boy, you are a coder, you did not work as an animator. And I said, yes, I can really animate characters, but I can make poses already. And this I will show you also in the video how I work here on the devlog. I'm using control rig here and the custom UI. But yeah, as you see, it's a lot of poses and we can adapt the weapon locations. I'm using sockets here which are attached to the weapon sockets from this character. Happily, this character did not come with the IK bonds, but I was able to introduce them. So we have here IK bonds as well, but I do really not use this IK handgun bond because it has no parent like I don't know, a wrist or a hand or so on. It's very hard to retarget. That's why I'm now migrating my system to those bonds which are directly parented to the hand. Basically here it's the wrist, and I'm using IK retargeting here as well. So let me open the retargeter. It took quite some time to migrate this mesh to a newer version of Unreal Engine data, and then I was able to use it very easily. Then I have this mesh here, this retargeter, so we can say from T-Motion to Infiltrator, and here we can retarget very easily animations from the mannequin to this character, and it works perfectly fine. Except the movement of the head, I will adapt it a little bit more, but yeah, and most of the time it looks great and works perfectly fine. So also rolling works with root motion. staying up animations. So everything, every animation I was able to reuse from ALS and adapt it a little bit with control rig, which we will see as well in the devlog. So yeah, and now we have seen the data table for the weapons. And you might wondering how I was able to set up that the system automatically finds the right slot to attach the weapon. And this is done via a data table as well. I work a lot with data tables here because I really like when I can iterate quite fast. So it's a data table. So every weapon basically can use this data table here and this configuration. And here we can see the arm slot. It's weapon R per default. And if we have multiple weapons, we use weapon L. And the system automatically finds the best slot with the items, or as I call them combat items, are attached to the character. And also for the wearing slot it's the same, so it's basically this one is the back socket, it's a default one, or we have some sockets on the left leg or on the right leg. And this is how the system selects it now. And most stuff is written in C++, but also you can use it very easily in blueprints. Let me open with Control P the character blueprint. And yeah, you will say, yeah, it looks like a mesh and like a mess. And I say, yes, it looks like a mess, but I'm still refactoring stuff and migrating my system from one combat item, so one weapon, to multiple weapons. And in the end, this one will get thrown away. And then here we have, let me see, where is it? So here we have a node from this actor component, which is basically combat item manager. It manages all the weapons. And then we ask this component, say, please give me the best slot to arm this weapon. And here we get the array where we can iterate over all weapons. Same for unequip and so on. There is a attachment where we say, yeah, we want to attach it from the best wearing slot. And this is done doing the registration of the weapon. And let me see if we can find this as well. I think it's in interfaces, collectibles, consumer, and I think it's in end consume. Yes, end consume. So this one is quite complex, but what it does basically is disables the physics and gets the weapon from the pickup system, and then we route this through via, let me see how the macro is done, via the gameplay tags. So this gameplay tag is then weapon. If it fits, we go on and so on, and in the end we return the correct execution pin. And then here we can basically scale it the way we want. And here this is how the registration is done. We say combat item manager, please register this item, and then it says, yeah, it worked. And if not, we do a lot of error handling and say, yeah, destroy the actor, raise an error message, and so on. These are all custom nodes written in C++, except the destroy actor is one from the engine. And if it is successful, we try to find out, as you see here is still a to-do, that is an actor or not, and if it's an actor, we can attach it. So that's how it was done before, but now the combat item manager takes care about it. So yeah, I'm just saying I'm refactoring the system. And if we have a pickup, we say unregister the item from the pickup, and later on we will destroy the pickup, and so on. That's how it's done. And this allows us also, if we play again, this allows us that we can throw away a weapon with the F key. So then it's using physics from chaos. Then we pick it up and we can equip it and shoot it. So yeah, I'm also using, like you see here, some special effects from the Infiltrator demo. In combination they look very nice, and I'm using these as hit reactions. So as you see, these guys are moving around with the navigation system. So if you press the escape key, we will see the mesh, the nav mesh. So it's a custom plugin from Reeds, and it's written in C++. You can find it on GitHub, on his account as well. Just say flying navigation, and then it basically what it does is it's using this grid here and tries to find the best way through the grid via box traces. And if there's no object, it says, yeah, this cell is free, we can move through. And that's how it's done. I think it's 1000 lines of code with managing and so on. But that's basically the way how it works. And then we have flying AI characters, which is very nice for drones. Furthermore, I'm working on this small patrol system here, so we can here move around those actors. And if we click on the, let me disable this one. So if we click here on waypoint, where is it? Patrol way. And we can see here say draw lines again, and you see then it's adapted. So here it's basically the direction which the point is going through, and here we have a small number which says 0, 1, 2, 3. That's basically the waypoints. And I will use this small system, so we can also add a waypoint here. If we click on add waypoint, then we can move it around here and say we want to draw the lines again. That's basically for visualization for us, so that we know where the path is going through, basically. And yeah, this is done via blueprints. I will migrate this to C++ as well, because there's more possibilities to do editor scripting. And if we play the game and press the gameplay debugger button, we will see that the guys are using the perception system to find the character. And it will then track the guy. So yeah, I set up all senses like hearing, seeing, or sight-line, and so on with blueprints as well. I expose a lot of stuff from C++ to blueprints, and then it worked perfectly fine for prototyping as well, because I really like prototyping in blueprints. So that's basically the part of the AI. I will improve them so that it can attack the character and so on. And yeah, I'm trying to achieve a playable Infiltrator tech demo. not the one we have seen like a movie. I want to have it as a player and want to shoot at those guys and so on. That's what I'm working on. And yeah, I talked a lot about animations, and I did not show this to you. So how we can do it is the following. We go to my folder and then characters, Infiltrator, animations, editors, and change this map and save everything. And then we open the level sequence. So it's this one here. So as you see, if we do a double click here, it spawns the character here at the root of the map. And then we can use sequencer to basically adapt the animation. And I'm doing it like the following. I wrote a custom UI for this. So it's here with a lot of settings. Let me get this from a different screen. So it's this one here. And here we see the connected animation sequence. If we search for it here, we can open it as well. And maybe on the left, the screen is way too small, but I think you will get the point. So here, if we, for example, break the animations again and show the bones, which we do already, and say, yeah, we don't want to select anything, bake it again and say, yeah, please bake it. Say, yeah, that's great, but the IK bones get messed up. And also you see that it enables the interpolation linear, which is not used by ALS. We should turn it back to step, and it's more precise. And then we see, so if we save the game, or not save the game, save the animation sequence and play the game, so we can use this all in editor, which is very nice. Now we will not see it. Here you can see it. That's the test of ALS. If we land, you will see the legs go very crazy. And the IK bones are not properly constrained. That's the issue, because the IK bones are here and not constrained to the foot left and right. And we can do this very easily in the editor as well. If we do right click, that's a special script I wrote some time ago. If you want to find more about, search in my channel for constraint bones. And then we have this data table here, and we say Infiltrator. So we also can do this. Cannot. But here's the animation sequence again, and as you see, the bounds are now properly constrained, even the virtual bounds. And yeah, I will introduce this workflow in the UI as well here from this picker, so that if we break the animations, we will also constrain the bounds. And that's how I work basically. And if we click on the character, press F to focus, we can then select a control rig element and move it around and animate it. So yeah, this looks very weird, of course. And if we have auto key enabled, it will directly store this location. If you press Control C, it will move it back again. And I think I showed this UI already in another devlog, but we can select here the control rigs, and here the stuff gets updated. And if we want to move a weapon, we can use this button here and then move the stuff around and place the weapon how we want it to be. Can also disable the visibility of the controls and so on. It's quite convenient already for me as a non-animator. I was able to create this pose here in a few hours and a few sessions. Developing the UI was way more complicated. And we can also do the following. If we drag here, we can select multiple controls and turn it on again. Then we will see that we have selected all the finger controls and can work with them. So we can do it like this, or if we want to move the hand and press Control or Shift for the second control, we can then move both together and animate them. That's basically how I work. Then I bake it, and then I just play the game again and see, oh, does it work or not? Yeah, that's very nice. The system also supports 3 weapons, but it's not configured properly, as you see. But let me show it to you better. So yeah, so it basically uses all the 3 slots we defined. And here we see that's an issue. So we have not configured any animation blueprint. That's why it's saying, oh yeah, this doesn't work. And also we should see a logging error here normally. So yeah, item state was not handled. Item 1's equip state. Yeah, here, failed to find preferred slot. See the error messages above for more details. So yeah, it says then here above, here's a lot of debugging message. I will remove them. But basically I'm working a lot with the output log and print errors for me so that I know something went wrong. You get also this error message here. This is raise error node. That's quite convenient. So it says here, no valid item was released from focus item. So there's an issue. Or here, that's the issue, that's the main issue. No valid overlay anim state defined for the attacks. So yeah, as I said, I'm still working on stuff. There's a lot of going on at the same time. But I really like this state so far. So we can shoot with one weapon. If we unequip the second again, we can use it. And it works in the poses which I was already working on. So very nice. So yeah guys, if you want to see more of this stuff or have specific questions, raise them in the comments below, and I would see you in the next devlog. See you soon, and happy coding and happy game development to you. Goodbye.